genuine concerns. All right, thank you. I was going to suggest that. So again, welcome everyone to our founders meeting for January 31st, 2024. We are going to go over a couple of things. I posted a blog last night that there's an old movie, an old TV show that reminded me when I think of the words "don't panic," and it's called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a comedian's approach in critique on society, and it's funny. It's got a little bit of sci-fi in it, and it can be really, really dumb. There's some things that we go through life, and we have to realize that a lot of things happen to us, and sometimes dumb things happen, and sometimes brilliant things happen. We are trying to be the simply brilliant community, so we're going to try for those brilliant things to happen more than the dumb things. But as Mbe said, yes, there were some mistakes that were made. Even recently, there were some mistakes that were made. And the best part about making a mistake is that you learn from it. So we've done that. So I'm going to go into the details of the blog here and address the dropping of our membership. Now, as you know, when I first took over the meetings and took over SBC as admin, our membership was actually pretty low, somewhere in the 4,000 range, approaching the 5,000 range. And I made a commitment to launch SBFC at a price that would grow as our membership grows. We had some progress throughout November and even October that helped push our price into the $30 range for SBFC. And of course, keep in mind, we're still working on building liquidity for that coin. We don't want to make the same mistakes that we made with Joy G and we made with K-Love. So that ties into what's going on with our membership. So as I said, don't panic. There are a lot of members. We have 5,832 members that are currently active. And what I mean by active is their account is current. They do not have an expiration date of, they have an expiration date into the future. They could expire tomorrow, or they could expire in a whole year. But recently, we've lost almost 1,000 members over the course of the last couple of weeks. And you want to know where they're coming from, and I can explain it to you. It's very simple. Those are the members that came in January of 2024 or 2023, sorry. Those are the members that were encouraged to pay for advance payments for an entire year. They got a discount for doing so. And that ensured that they were going to be able to make it all the way through the matches, the January match, the July match, June match, and then the December match. So there's a lot of members that basically put their account on autopilot, and those members have just expired. Those members that paid advance payments aren't really paying attention to what we're doing, because we've been communicating over the last 9 months, or the first 9 months of the year, that K-Love was having some issues and it was converted to Joy G, and then there were some more issues there. So a lot of these members that have expired have not even come back to their account to log in and check and see what's going on. Those members we need to reach. Those members had once, a year ago, made a commitment to stay active in our community and take advantage of what was to offer, what was planned and what was anticipated to happen. And although it didn't happen exactly the way that Admin Jack had originally planned, it did happen in a roundabout way that I think we're going to get to our goal a lot faster. So I want to make sure you understand, do not panic on our membership losses. We do need to rebuild our membership, and we need to rebuild our membership with members that are participating in the Shared Bounty Program. The Shared Bounty Program is a great opportunity for all of our members to receive something back for their commitment to paying their KCBO. And keep in mind, we're not going to be paying the admin fee for the rest of our lives. That's not what we're intending to do. When we launch SBC in a real world environment, that SBC will no longer require you to make a KCBO payment. But we've got to support the operation until we get there. If you want to be a part of that support in the operation, then we absolutely need you. We need you, and we need everyone that you can share the message with what we're trying to accomplish here. At one point in time, our membership had accumulated over 350,000 individual accounts that had 350,000 TBC in each one of those, in collectively. We know that there is at least 350,000 accounts with more than one TBC in them. So that is an extraordinary number. That is a very inspiring number. And the people that we're looking forward to sponsoring us forward in our private global community and our private global currency are encouraged by those numbers, but we have to reawaken them. They need to be reawakened. If they don't want to participate in the shared bounty program and they just want to reawaken themselves and be a part of the community, that's fine. We need to find an opportunity for them to be able to participate in a limited enough capacity that our numbers will go up, but those participating in the bounty program is an extra perk. I'm going to look into that for the next coming months of our shared bounty cycle. So for what I'm saying is that maybe not necessarily do every member have to participate in the shared bounty program. And by not participating in the shared bounty program, you'll still be able to receive your SBC rewards. You'll still be able to receive your remedy funds, and all of those funds will be available to you with a possibility of a different payment level. So we're going to discuss that, but we need to also understand that the bounty program, particularly the instant bounty program and the shared bounty program, is the maximum output of the system, and that is what our membership drives on. So I know that there's a lot of members that keep saying that the membership fee is too high. Well, and they don't receive anything for the benefits, but we've already discussed and we've already explained and we've already detailed out how participating on a monthly basis actually does benefit you. Sometimes we don't understand that there's a couple of little words that we hear, oh, $280 USDT, and oh, $1,125 USDT. Those sounds like great numbers, and those numbers are being muted, or the words before those numbers are being muted, and that is up to. That's the most important thing to keep in mind. So the drop in our membership can be explained quite quickly. We have a lot of members that expired that paid with KLove. We have a lot of members that expired that paid with JoyG. We haven't accepted JoyG or KLove in a very long time. So those members that are expiring were advance payments. Those people had paid ahead, and they have not come back to their KCBO account to see what we have to offer. So in your communities and in your groups, you might want to reach out to those members, and we're going to work on a way. That's part of the exciting news that I'm going to have going here in just a moment. We're going to work on a way of communicating with those members. All we really need to do is get an app on their phone. SBC is going to build a app, and that app will be available specifically for Android first. It's difficult to get on iPhones, but that app, the majority of our members are Android users, and that app will push notifications to you, and it will push notifications to you in a way that you will be able to understand what's going on. So let me share my screen and go to the bubble. Oh, am I sharing my screen? I think.
No, not actually.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
So here on the bubble, there we go. This is being updated right now. Another addition to the bubble is going to be that progress meter I was telling you about. So the progress meter is going to be on your dashboard. It's going to have 8 different levels of progress. The first level of progress is going to go quickly. The second level of progress is going to go a little bit slower. The third level of progress is going to go a little bit slower than that until you get down to the 8th level of that progress meter. If you are a member that has no downlines or up to 4 downlines, you're only going to see 8 of those progress bars. And those 8 of those progress bars reflect how much of the shared bounty you're receiving. So there are different allocation levels of how that shared bounty is distributed. So that first level is going to fill up faster than the second level and the third level, all the way down to the 8th. Those members who have more than 5 of their downlines that are active will unlock the 9th and 10th levels of that progress meter. And that will be able to show you not necessarily in dollars what you're going to receive, but that's going to show you the progress. And the reason why we don't show you the dollars is because that number will change as members come in and as members fall off. So we don't want to show a number that isn't accurate until all of the processing is done at the end. So you'll be able to tell, you'll probably be able to tell after a period of time of looking at that progress bars, all of those progress bars, where you are in the system. And one thing to keep in mind is I've promised that the way that this system is intended to work is it needs a lot of participating members. Our first run was only 600 members, and only 300 of them, or 380 of them, came back for the second round. And our first run actually was not that bad. It was pretty encouraging to see that the progress, the program had actually worked. Our second run was a little bit of a snafu, and that was because of the members that had left in the first group. So now we've adjusted it, we've made some changes, and we're basically starting over again in our February run. So when this progress meter gets up there, the more green you see on your progress meters, the better off you're doing in the system. And again, what I said, for each month that we go through, it's going to be up to $280, and it's going to be up to $1,125 in those tiers. So if you receive, say, for instance, $150 in your shared bounty this month, your next month's shared bounty should be at least $150 or more, as long as our participation levels are growing. And that is one of the things that I wanted to address specifically with regards to this number at the top of our screen. 5,835 members is not the number of active participating members in the shared bounty program. So as I said in the blog, put away your calculators, because you're not going to be able to figure out what's going on based on that number there. But I will be able to show you how many participating members are going to be in the shared bounty pool. So that is something that we probably won't get done by the end of the February run, but for the March run, it will be there. But the progress meter is going to do a little bit of replacing on some of this ambiguity that you're looking at here. So obviously, if you see a progress meter, you're shared bounty qualified. You'll know if you've qualified for the levels 9 and the levels 10 tiers, because you'll see level 9 and level 10. So all of that will be visually available to you. And basically what I was saying about this app that we're going to be putting out is that app will take the bubble and dilute it down to what you need to know. What you need to know is the same as like when you have your phone bill. Your phone bill sends you a text. Your phone company sends you a text and say, your payment's due in 3 days. That is the simplest thing that we can do to communicate with our members. We can also reach out to all of our members and do a wide burst of information and make sure that every member sees it. It becomes a notification on their phone. So we'll know that every member that is actually participating with the app is going to be receiving these messages. That's one of the things that I'm not really sure is happening right now, is that we have over 1,000 members in our Telegram chat, but yet our meeting only has 100 to 150 members on a regular basis. And I understand that the time zone is an issue, but we still have to take a look at the fact that we do record these meetings and we can share them, and you can download them, you can watch them at any time. So that's what I wanted to address as far as the membership goes. Don't panic because the membership is going down. Don't worry about what's going on with that. Now, if we drop below 5,000, I'm not going to change the price of SBC or SBFC. Once we've hit that SBFC price, we stay there. So our next level of leveling up into SBFC is going to be at 7,500 members, 7,500 active members. That doesn't matter how many are participating in shared bounty or not. That's just how many active members we have. So remember, there's a lot of members that were here that were paid in advance. There's some members that paid the $22 discounted fee back in early November that paid ahead a little bit. There's a lot of members that their last payment was in Joy G, or it was a bulk payment, or all sorts of things. So when we lose members, we're losing members that aren't really paying attention. When we grow by members, when you see that number go up, because it does go up, it goes up, and it goes down. The ups are sometimes fewer than the downs, but in recent months, the ups have been higher than the downs. So let's work on reigniting the flame of the SBC community. Go back to your members, or go back to your followers and everyone, and remind them that, hey, Admin Jack promised us a match, a quadruple match back in January of 2023. And you can tell them that Admin Scott is giving that quadruple match now in SBC. And we have never been closer to launching our private currency than we are right now. Being on the tech team and understanding Admin Jack's tiers of involvement of how he wanted to strategically get us where we need to go, I wanted to go into explaining the SBC future and what the plan is here for SBC. So as we transition into that topic, I'm going to take a little drink of water here. Okay, so a lot of members have been posting in the chat, the Telegram chat over the last month. Oh, when are we going to be able to exchange SBC? We are not going to exchange SBC. There will be no exchange for SBC. You will be using SBC in your everyday lives. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is there's an app out there that is very popular. It's a global app. It's called Glint. And Glint is an operation that is basically a bank. They have debit cards. They have connection to ACH payments. They have connection to wire payments. So they're a traditional, typical bank. That bank has gold on deposit. And you, as a member of that program, of the Glint program, can purchase gold and store gold as gold in their bank. And you have two options when using that gold in the real world. The first option is that you can use it as your local currency. So you can sell some of your gold and get your local currency, and then go ahead and spend it on your Visa card or your MasterCard. So that's tied into the Global Elites Network, but still, it's a Visa and MasterCard, and you still are able to use the funds that are in your gold account. Now, you can also spend the gold as gold. So when you actually make a purchase and you're set to use gold as your purchasing power, it will automatically convert at that time, whatever the price of gold is, to whatever currency that you're paying in. That is the exact technology that we are looking to build, where our security is in the gold, it is in the bank, it's in the private metals, it's in all of the assets that the bank we're building holds. You're allocated funds of that through your SBC. And your SBC can be spent directly in any environment. You can spend it as a bank transaction. You can spend it as a withdrawal from an ATM. You can spend it as a credit card transaction. That is just simply technology. There's no restrictions. There's no limitations to what we can do with that type of technology. But that technology takes money. And the bank and the financiers that we're working with don't have that infrastructure in place yet, because why build it if there's nobody to use it? They were going to go and spend $1 million to $100 million in building that infrastructure. It's a global infrastructure. It's not just going to be a centralized system. It's going to be a distributed system where there will be a server in each country or in each metro hub, or it's going to be all over the place. It has to be decentralized, much like Bitcoin is. So all of that has to be built, and that costs money. And nobody wants to spend money unless they know that they're going to get a return. And that return is in a user base. So right now we're a user base of 5,835, but we have access to 350,000 members who have already earned something in our own community. And those members we need to reach back out to and we need to bring back in because we've never been closer to launching SBC. So there are a couple of things that need to happen, as I've mentioned before. There's a legal structure that needs to be made. That legal structure can only be created before the technology is created. That legal structure is not going to be created after. That legal structure is not going to be created now. It has to be created when we're ready, and we're not ready yet. We have to show our investors, we have to show our people that are working with us to put this gold on deposit. We have to show them that we're ready to be that community. As I've said before, we're a like-minded community. We know what we're looking for. We know what we want. We want freedom from the global elites, and we want freedom from our financial systems. We don't want a house that we own to be taken by a bank because the government wants to put in a road there. We don't want a lot of these things that happen to us on a daily basis where they garnish your wages because you didn't pay your electric bill one time. Those are things that we can't stand in our world and our society. It's not fair. It's not. It's not humane. So that is what our community was founded to build and fight against. And when I say fight, I mean, we're going to be passive and we're going to be at peace and we're going to be, smarter about how we approach these matters. So again, the first step is building our community to a point where we have active users that are ready to go. Now, yes, there is a possibility that maybe the the bank, or I don't really want to call them a bank because they're not really a traditional bank and they're not really traditional investors. They've basically got all these funds that they want to utilize in a alternate way to the way that the global systems are being utilized now. They're looking for a revival of the financial system ultimately. And all I can say is that if we took 1,000 of our members, 1,000 of our current members right now, and we're able to build on a limited scale that technology, on a limited scale that legal structure, and then on a limited scale fund that bank, and we put that out there, and we do a trial run. Now, there's a possibility that they could do that, and I will talk to them about that because recently finding the 350,000 members that were alive in TBC is very inspiring. It's a larger number than I was able to go to with them before, and it's a number I can prove. We had 71,000 when I talked to them the first time. I said we had 71,000 members a year ago, and now we're down to about 4 or 5. But I was able to go to them and say now we have 350,000 members who have something of value that we can tickle them with. So I want you to know that we have never been closer to the launch of SBC, but it does require us to pay the stewardship of the accounts and fund our operation, because the financial system that we're trying to build isn't going to fund us until we're ready to be funded. So just keep that all in mind. And with that, I want to move on to our last topic. I already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. So over the course of the next 2 to 4 weeks, the development team is going to be building a progressive web app. It's a simple, kind of quick and dirty, easy way to get an app on your phone without having to go through Google authentication, without having to go through the Apple Store. It's just an app that runs on your phone and will notify you when events are occurring. So it can notify you that there's a founders meeting right now. It will notify you, hey, there's a training session right now. It will notify you that your payment is due in 3 days. It will notify you that congratulations, you just graduated to tier 9 and 10 of the shared bounty program. It has all sorts of potential to get the information out to our members. Because I feel that our biggest problem right now is not our membership falling or trying to rise. It's basically communication. We have to get out there. We have to pull on those strings that were once there, because those strings are still there. They're definitely still there. And you can prove to them. Just log into your KCBO, because we'll show them the TBC that they had in their KCBO. They don't even have to pay. They can just log in, because there are certain pages in our KCBO that you can have access to without even having to make a payment. But in order to receive that SBC in that wallet, we need to get a secured payment in place to get you guys on the active side again. So lastly, I do want to work on a possibility of maybe having a SBC Coins KCBO Lite program, but I don't know how that's going to work, and I would have to continue to discuss that with the privy team. That is not something that I would recommend anyone wait for. Don't wait for it. It might not happen. The opportunity is here, and the opportunity is now. So today is the end of January, and all of our new sponsors who have just recently become proud sponsors again are going to be receiving 1,000 SBC for bringing in a new member. I don't have the numbers on that, but I think that it's actually pretty decent. Those new members are going to receive, in addition to the 200 that you receive for paying your KCBO, they're going to receive an additional one-time payment of 200. So brand new members since January 1st are going to receive 400 SBC in their wallet tomorrow. And those sponsors of those brand new members will receive 1,000 SBC in their wallet for each one of those new members. So that's something I announced that didn't get really promoted all that well, but a lot of the members have stepped up and have done that. So that is the reward for recruitment, specifically in the SBC side. A lot of our new members, though, they don't know what TBC is. They didn't know what K-Love or Joy G was. So those new members will be able to get a little bit of a head start. 400 SBC is equivalent to 400 SBC is approximately equivalent to $1,648. And you receive that on a monthly basis. The 2,000 or the 200 SBC that you receive for paying your KCBO, that's an $800 SBC value. And when SBC launches, when we build the technology, when we build our legal structure, when we get SBC out there in the real world, you'll have those funds banked. And then think about the matched funds and all the funds that you converted from the remedy and also from the TBC. So there are a lot of members out there with a lot of SBC already in their account, and they are definitely going to be well off when SBC launches. So bring those members back. We need them, and they need us. So with that, I want to turn it over to Dr. Carl. He has a cryptocurrency seminar that is occurring this weekend, which is already booked solid. There's no more opportunities to participate in that, but only a few of our members have participated in that program. And unfortunately, most of our members require this education. There's a lot of our members that don't even understand what cryptocurrency is, and they've been kind of thrown in the washing bin and turned on high, and don't really understand how cryptocurrency works or how we're trying to do what we're doing here. But these seminars are a good way of getting educated. I believe that Dr. Carl is very astute at making sure that the sessions themselves are tuned in for the most novice of members, and can bring you up to a level where you're very competent. So with that, I want to say thank you for everyone. I'm going to take a little bit of break and turn it over to Dr. Carl.
All right, Dr. Carl, here we are. Dr. Carl, are you still here with us? Try to unmute now.
There we go. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, 5 on 5.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mbe. Thank you, Admin Scott. Good call, good message, and I'm glad it's recorded. And I totally agree with you when you said communication is something we really need to work on, but we need to work on communication and education, just like you emphasized the urgency of people in this community that needs to know about the crypto space. It's just so much to know, so much to learn. We just can't focus on making an investment and we sit back and just watch everything happen. We don't learn about crypto that way. Okay, we got to engage and we have to know all the different tools, transactions, the security features, you name it. We had several people in SBC that registered for the orientation that will take place this coming Sunday, February 4th. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I think those of you that are abroad overseas and in the continent of Africa, I believe that's either 10 or 10:30 in the evening. So I know it's a little late, the time difference, but let me share this with you. Um, this course allowed us to receive an award from the California Legislature um, Assembly in the state of California. It also gave us an award from our state governor. So that has to have some kind of clout that really attracted them, why they felt this class was awesome. The final thing is this course and another course we give, which is called Strategies for Living Financially Free, is what opened the door for me to earn my doctorate degree. They were absolutely amazed. If you're turning something down like that and don't think it's important, I don't know what else to tell you. We had a registration form that needed to be completed, and there were several people that didn't complete the form to its entirety. We need the entire form completed, and I gave a deadline when we needed it back. Now, fortunately, majority of the people did respond and gave me their full address because we need that in order to make sure you're getting everything that you need. We have 4 people that did not and still has not responded after I sent 3 messages. So if you go to the chat box right now and look at the very beginning when this call first started today, you'll see your name on the list. You'll know who you are. The registration has ceased. It has ended. But I'm going to show some grace this morning, or today was morning time, my time zone. I'm going to show some grace. I just posted, if you look on the chat, it's the very last chat. I posted the URL address for anyone to register for this session. Because remember now, I only do this session once a year. If you don't do it now, you got to wait till 2025. At least, it's fair to say, at least registered to come to the orientation so you can see the whole layout of what's going to be covered in the class. And I guarantee you'll be absolutely amazed on what you're going to receive if you decide to take this course. You will be so empowered to where when we come to a call like this, and when Mbe and Admin Scott talk to you about certain things, like right now, you may not quite catch on or understand certain topics about transactions, what we need to build. You don't understand liquidity and so on, or the blockchain. Well, you're going to get that knowledge in this course. I guarantee you, I'm going to give you my very best. So I want to encourage you to reconsider and think about that over again, but you have to respond. And I know sometimes you guys have a challenge with internet overseas. I sent another post today about some of the things you can do to get better internet when you're overseas. Hopefully, you can work on that. I would recommend if you do take the course to get a headset, get someone that's real basic. If you can see my screen, just get one real basic. I use one like this because you're going to get better sound because there's videos you're going to watch, music you're going to hear, other guest speakers you're going to listen to. It's very detailed, very comprehensive, and you're going to feel like you're going back to school, but you're learning something. And at the same time, you're going to be building wealth. You're going to learn how to build wealth in this community. You're going to learn how to do it. I don't want you guys to miss out on it. I don't. Mbe knows my heart, and my heart is just like his. I want everybody to prosper, and I'm from the military, and we go by the motto, no man left behind. We don't want anybody to be left behind. We want you to advance and excel, position yourself with a humanitarian spirit so that you can be a blessing to those who are less fortunate than you are through outreach, for you to inspire, encourage, and exhort one another to excellent works. Back to you, Mbe.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Carl. That is awesome. No man is left behind. I think I like that one, Carl.
That's it. No man left behind.
Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Okay. I see some people asking in the chat that how can they sign up? Please get to the person that invited you here, the person that shared the link with you so that you can actually get that.
The link is on the chat. If they can see the chat,
Oh, okay,
the
okay,
people
okay.
that are asking, can
Awesome.
they open up their chat box? Because the link is there for them to sign up for it.
All right, all right. Okay, okay. I was thinking the person want to sign up in Kringle Cash. All
Oh
right.
no, or I can repeat it. I can tell it over the phone if you guys can't open up the chat box. Do you want me to repeat the link?
Okay. You can post again on the chat box, or I don't know
Okay.
how you want to do it.
Let me post it again right now. I think I don't put. Yep, there we go. I just posted it again, and don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to make sure people get this and they don't miss out on this. Okay, I just submitted it. It's the latest one on the chat right now, and you'll see the link. Cryptology 365 course register.splashthat.com.
Awesome.
Okay. At least come to the orientation. There's no charge for the orientation, but at least you'll know exactly what's covered, and then you can make a wise conscious decision, because wisdom is the best thing you can have to make that decision. You want to be wise in your decision making.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen and ladies, we are gradually coming to the end of our program. We'll definitely take a Q&A session right now. I think we have just one person hand up, so which is Gina. Okay, so Gina, let's hear from you.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so I have two questions. And so you admin are talking about that the investors have to do something that deals with a bank. And when people asking me, that I'm trying to get signed up or whatnot about things, and I explained it to them, and I mentioned that part, they are wondering, because they're thinking, and I don't know how to explain it to them, that because something's going to be involving a bank, that the money is going to end up being centralized and controlled by the bad people again. So how do I explain this to them?
Well, what I would do is I would share the portion of the video from today where I completely detail how it's not really a bank and they're not really investors, and that they are not going to be, a centralized system. So these guys that we're working with already have the funds. They are the bank. They're not setting up a bank. They are a bank. Let me take a look and I can tell you their exact nomenclature that they use to identify themselves. They don't identify as a bank. They don't identify as investors either. So what they identify as is a private bank in digital coins. So their product that they build is private bank in digital coins. So we have a digital coin. We have SBC. We've already built that. That is literally the easiest part of creating. You're basically creating a ledger. You're creating accounts. You're creating transactions. That's the easiest part.
Okay.
Funding of the digital coins. That's also an easy part. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. But getting the users involved and engaged, that's the hard part. That's the part that, there's a Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams, it's called, and in that line, it says, if you build it, they will come. So we have to build it. We have to build our community to the point where these guys are going to come and they're going to knock on our door and they're going to say, we're ready because you're ready. And we're going to light this fire and we're going to get moving. So, I don't want to look at them as investors and I don't want to look at them at banks. I want to look at them as a source of liquidity. And, traditionally, banks are kind of that way. And even your local bank, let's just say, for instance, your bank right down the street, that is not your bank. That is not where your funds are. That is not, that's just basically a hole in the wall that has a little bit of cash on hand. There's no gold in that bank, or if there is, it's not much. So that bank right there isn't really the guarantor of the funds that you have on your account. So when we talk about decentralization, the funding, the actual liquidity or the assets themselves, they are technically going to be a centralized asset, but then again, they're diversified assets as well. So they've got real estate, they've got gold, they've got all sorts of gems and whatnot. So they've diversified their portfolios so that they have access to assets that can certainly benefit our community. So let's not look at them as the traditional bank, the traditional investors. A lot of members kind of look at it and say, well, Wall Street and businesses and whatnot. We're none of that. We don't want to be any of that. We're decentralizing ourselves from that. So
yes, absolutely, that's for sure. My next question I have is some of my downline are wanting me to explain to them, the SBC wallet that you just funded, and that number that is showing in there, is that the amount? I'm trying to explain it because I don't know. Is that the amount of SBC they have in there, and do they take that number because they're wanting to know how much it's worth? And I don't know how to explain that to them either. They're wanting to know because you're saying SBC is 1 grain of gold. So they're asking me, do they take that number that is in there and times it by the whatever 1 grain of gold is, like $4? That's correct. Okay. I thought that was, but I told him, I said, I'm going to make sure and ask because I don't want to steer you wrong. So, okay. So those are,
now,
I think
that's the easiest way for us to identify what SBC's value is. But also keep in mind that we're talking about differentiated assets. So there's silver, there's gold, there's platinum, there's gems, there's real estate, there's all sorts of items that are in that pool of what SBC will be worth when we are funded by this bank. Where we're setting our initial goal is for it to be gold. So gold is definitely the gold is the gold standard. They're not making any more of it. So just like land, we're not making any more land. Some of the elites are thinking that they want to make the land go away, but that doesn't seem very, very logical when former president of the United States is living right on the waterfront. Where's the global warming? Where's the rising seas?
Right.
Any other questions?
Oh yes, one more and then I'm done. So people that like they're paid up, and we made a payment in January, and they're going to make a payment in February. They're wanting to know, like, do they have to pay between like a certain time, like the 1st through the 4th or the 5th, in order to qualify, or can they like pay in, say,
the bubble will
or
tell
yesterday?
The bubble on the dashboard will tell you when your payment is due. If you make a payment after that date, then you run the risk of not being allocated to during the system. So the way that the original
or yesterday, or do they have to pay the month of, like, for February? Do they have to pay between February 1st and February 4th or 5th, whatever it is?
I'm not gonna be able to tell you exactly when that is. It's
Okay.
whatever the bubble says. So the bubble says you need to make a payment by this date in order to remain shared bounty qualified. That is the day. That's the date. You can make a payment a couple of days in advance, but if you make it after, then you won't be allocated during the time that your account is no longer qualified. So you don't want to risk that. So if it tells you to make a payment on January 31st, do it on January 31st. Don't wait until February 2nd. And if it says January 31st, you can make a payment on February or on January 28th. That's okay. You can make it a couple of days in advance and it will carry you through.
Okay. All right.
We don't want anyone making advance payments, month on month on month of advance payments, because every payment that comes into the system gets allocated into the shared bounty program in the cycle that it's in. So if a payment is received in the January cycle, it goes to the January shared bounty.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for all you're doing. And just, excited and anticipating of, everything you're doing and everything that you said today. And, yeah.
I'm super excited because I feel like, there's not a lot that we really need to do other than bringing our membership back. I mean, we just have to reach out and say, hey, SBC is going to pop real soon. Get yourself in there, get your seat at the table because it's going to pop. So, we want to make sure
how do we reach out? How do we reach out? Let's say I don't have any others. I don't have any people that are falling off. But is there a way that, like, say, me or others can somehow reach out? I don't know how we would do that. Bring people in that maybe their sponsors left and they're not here, and so they're gone. How in the world can we reach these people?
Well, that's a good question. A while ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, admin created a program called I forget what it was called. It was basically it was kind of like a leads kind of program. So you would get email addresses of 10 or 20 people that are in our system that may not be active, and you'd be able to reach out to them. So I don't know how we would do that. I think that it's a privacy issue of us giving out other people's email addresses. If there was a way that we could, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But you're right. That's something that would be, there are sponsors out there that would gladly take on the responsibility of educating, other people's downlines if their current sponsor is not capable of that. So I'll have to think about how we would go about that in a privacy oriented kind of way. Unfortunately, the chat system that was in the system, the chat system broke down, and we weren't able to have a developer at the time to fix it. So that system won't work. But maybe through the app that we're building, we can find a way to do that. So that's a good idea, and we'll definitely look at that.
All right, sure. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
Yeah. God bless all of us.
Indeed.
Right.
Okay.
You still have time for more?
Are there more questions?
Yeah, we still have.
Oh, there's a lot of questions. I have time. I just don't have a lot of voice, but let's take a couple more.
Okay,
let's keep it to one question though.
Let's go with Gus Pilish. Guys, you have one question. Then take another one.
All right. Greetings, admin. Greetings, Mr. Mbe and Mr. Carl and everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
Yep.
All right. So I just want to thank our admin for all the innovations, all that you have been doing, trying to make sure that you carry everybody along. And I want to thank the Privy Council, which the head is Mr. Mbe Derek, for supporting him, giving him a supporting hand, and mostly for, bringing in leadership, because without leadership, strong leadership, I don't think that any organization will, move forward, will work fine. So we need, we can see leadership at work, and we want to ask that you people make it stronger and always come together, analyze things before bringing it out. I can see it working. I can see it moving forward. So thank you very much. And admin, I see where you explain about app that is coming. That is a very good innovation. But I want to ask: is there any way that you can, add this something like free mining? Because our community is a goodwill organization, and we need members, we need people. So if there is any way you can add free mining on that app where somebody can use this link and bring somebody, and when the person enter the app, he can mine just a small, our coins, one today is 4,000, I think 4,000 something dollar like that. So where somebody can mine cents of it, that is just to bring in people freely, get cents of it and mine, and within that particular mining, there will be advertisements. Advertisement will be going on there that when the person mine up to maybe $10 or $20 or $50, the system will be telling the person, you are now qualified to get 200 SBC. So move back to the person that refer you on how to get 200 SBC. So when the person go back to the person tell him, just with subscription fee, if you just pay this amount and become active, you start getting to 200 SBC and so on. Whenever somebody come to mind, something concerning our community will pop up. You have to read or answer questions before you can mine. So with all those things, and with all those things, from there, the person can enter our Telegram group for that.
All right.
Concerning that one, and
you're taking a lot of time. It sounds like a proposal to the admin. So I'm sure the whole idea is all about mining. So admin will tell us if it's a good idea or not, right? We have other hands up, so we don't want to keep them waiting. Admin has limited time.
Okay. So let me address that. That's a good idea. That interactive part of the app would be very good to hear. Obviously, there's a lot of details that need to be discussed. So reach out to me on Telegram and put together an idea for that, and we'll take a look at it. Of course, the development costs for something of that nature is a little bit more extensive than we're currently readily able to do, but it's certainly something, I definitely want to hear suggestions. So, reach out to me on Telegram and put together kind of an overview of what you're proposing, and we'll take a look at it and discuss it on the Privy Council, and see when we have the ability or the inclination to implement something of that nature.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Excellent.
All right. So we'll take the next person, Musa from Texas.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, admin. Thank you, Mbe. My question is, this morning, I'm overseas. This morning, I was talking to my mom. And since the beginning of TBC, the idea was to have 1 million billionaire and 1 billion millionaires. So, Admin Scott, are we still in that lukewarm? Are we still in that thinking? Because when I talk to my mom, we discuss this one. I'm discussing TBC idea with her maybe more than 6 years now. And she told me today, everybody cannot be rich. But my conclusion to her is everybody in the world must be rich. What do you think?
So regarding the tiers of billionaires and millionaires that the previous TBC, we are not TBC anymore. TBC was a concept that didn't really pan out. So just keep that in mind, that the TBC is the idea of TBC and the millionaires and billionaires, that really didn't come to fruition. I want to make sure that everyone knows that there are no tiers in the SBC community. There's no limit to what you can accomplish. There's no limit to who you can be or how you can earn within this community. Previously, we'd done contests and we'd done get in quick to take advantage of this opportunity kind of stuff. I'm not like that. I'm the no nonsense guy. So we're not looking at it from that perspective. What we are looking at it from is the perspective of our community and the perspective of having the TBC or the SBC rewards that we're building on a monthly basis just by being in our KCBO accounts. So we don't really want to focus on the millionaire, billionaire side. Everyone has the opportunity. Whatever you had in TBC, that is easily convertible to SBC and into the remedy, into your SBC wallet. And that's where we'll go from there. So whatever you've had allocated, whatever TBC you had, that's kind of where you stand. There's a lot of members that had a lot of TBC because they bought it when it was really super cheap. And then there's a lot of members that earned a lot of TBC because admin was giving TBC away out, quite freely in that distribution phase. So that was really kind of part of what it was the distribution side. He was distributing TBC out to everyone. Well, guess what? We've done that. We've already got the TBC out there, and we've already converted the TBC to SBC, and we've got the distribution out there. We've got the funds into the hands of the people. We just need to get the people into the hands of the funds. So with that one, we can move on to the last one.
Okay, last one, Yahoo Janot. Let's hear from him. Yahoo Janot, unmute. Yahoo Janot. Looks like he's having some technical difficulties.
All right. Well, he can reach out to us, or they can reach out to us on Telegram when they get the opportunity.
Okay. All right. Great video today, admin. And do you have some take-home message? Maybe we shouldn't panic.
Definitely don't panic. We are strong. We are here, and we're going to succeed. So we're strong, we're here, and we're going to succeed. Do your best to reawaken and re-advise all of those members. It doesn't cost them anything to log in and see what they had as far as TBC goes. Just say, hey, log into your KCBO account and see what you got your TBC back, man. Got your TBC back. Go look, it's there.
Awesome.
Anyway, yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you very much, admin. And
all right, thank you, everyone.
Let's all unmute and we say we are here, we are strong, and we're going to succeed. Everyone unmute. We are here, we are strong, and we're going to succeed.
We are here, we are strong.
We are here and we are strong and we're going to succeed.
Okay, it's here. We are here, we are strong, we're going to succeed.